Have you ever finished a lo-fi track, exported it, and then suddenly realised you have no idea what visual to use? So you start looking for artwork, maybe you try to animate something, maybe you open Canva or After Effects, and before you know it, a simple upload has turned into a 4-hour editing project. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to stop overthinking your lo-fi visuals so that you can post more music faster and focus on what actually matters, and that's making great beats.
You're listening to the LoFi Music Academy podcast, your go-to space for all things lo-fi. Sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of lo-fi music production.
Hi, and welcome to the LoFi Music Academy podcast. I'm Spencer J, your guide through the chilled out, atmospheric world of lo-fi beats. If you're new here, this is where we like to talk about lo-fi music, beat making, creativity, and the real mindset behind finishing music and building something sustainable as a music producer. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever finished a lo-fi track, exported it, and then spent more time thinking about the visual elements needed to promote and market your music, rather than the actual music itself? Maybe you've asked yourself, should I animate something? Or maybe, is a static image too boring? Do I need to learn how to use After Effects? What if the visuals don't match the vibe? And suddenly a 5-minute upload turns into a 4-hour project. And if that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. In this episode, I want to show you how to stop overthinking your lo-fi visuals for your promotion and marketing, so you can focus on what actually matters, and that's making music, finishing tracks, and posting consistently. Because at the end of the day, a simple upload that actually gets posted will always beat the perfect upload that never leaves your hard drive. A lot of producers think visuals need to be perfect, but the truth is, most successful lo-fi music promotions keep visuals really simple. Think about the classic lo-fi scenes we all know: cozy bedrooms, rainy windows, cafe tables, quiet city streets, or someone studying at a desk. These visuals work because they create a vibe, not because they're technically complex. Another reason producers overthink visuals is because there are just too many choices today. You can animate things, build scenes in Blender, design artwork in Photoshop, or try to learn motion graphics. When you're faced with that many options, it's easy to feel like you're not doing enough. But in reality, most listeners are perfectly happy with a simple scene that matches the mood of your music. But new creators often fall into this trap. They believe every upload needs a new visual idea that leads to decision fatigue, editing frustration, delayed uploads, and sometimes they just don't upload at all, which is actually the worst outcome. This exact problem is one of the reasons I started creating the Lofi Visual Loop Packs. The idea was simply to make visuals easy. Instead of trying to design scenes or animate things yourself, you can just pick a visual, drop your track in, and upload the video. If you're curious, you can check those out in the link below. But for now, let's get back to the main idea of simplifying your visual workflow. So here's something interesting. Most people listening to lo-fi music are doing something else. They're studying, working, reading, and relaxing. The visual is important for setting the mood, but it's rarely the actual main focus. What people really want is a consistent vibe, a relaxing environment, something pleasant on the screen, and that's it. In fact, if you look at many successful lo-fi labels, you'll notice something surprising. They often use the same visual ideas. Viewers start to associate that particular environment with the music, which makes the experience feel familiar and comforting. So instead of thinking, is this visual amazing? Try thinking, does this visual support the mood of the music? And that shift alone removes a lot of the pressure. So if visuals don't need to be complicated, the next question is, what should you actually do instead? Over time, I realised there are really 3 simple rules that make the whole process much easier. And once you follow these, visuals stop being something that slows you down and instead becomes a quick final step before you upload your track. So rule 1 is keep the scene simple. Your visuals don't need to be complex to work. In fact, most successful lo-fi visuals are built around very simple scenes. Think about your classic lo-fi environments you see again and again, your cosy bedrooms, rainy windows, small cafes, study desks, and quiet city views. These scenes work because they create a feeling. They give the listener a small visual world to sit in while they listen to the music. And that's really the goal. The visual isn't supposed to compete with the music. It's there to support the vibe of the track. So instead of trying to design something elaborate for every upload, it's often better to choose simple, calming scenes that match the mood of your music. Rule 2 is to use a visual library instead of creating new visuals. And this one is probably the one that saves the most time. Instead of creating new visuals every time you upload your music, you build a small library of scenes that you can just choose from. And when you finish a track, you simply pick the visual that matches the vibe. That might be a cosy bedroom scene or a cafe window with some rain, a peaceful morning desk or a calm sunset view. But having a collection of ready-to-use scenes removes that biggest source of friction in the upload process. You don't have to design anything. You don't have to animate anything. You just choose a scene, add your music, and export the video. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I started creating the Lofi Visual Loop Packs, to make this part of the workflow really simple. Instead of spending hours trying to create visuals, producers can just pick a scene, drop in their music, and export and upload. Rule 3, match the scene to the mood of your track. This is where visuals actually become fun. Different lo-fi tracks have slightly different emotional tones. Some feel like a late night studying session, some quiet rainy afternoons, peaceful mornings or slow sunset evenings. And when the scene matches the mood of your music, the whole video feels more immersive. For example, a soft piano beat might pair nicely with a rainy windows scene. A warm jazz-inspired track might fit a cosy cafe visual, or a light uplifting beat might work perfectly with a sunny morning room. This is why having multiple scenes available is actually really useful. You don't need to design them yourself. You just choose the one that fits your track, and suddenly uploading your music becomes much faster and a more creative process. Once you start approaching visuals this way, something interesting happens. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out what visuals to use, you can finish a track, choose a scene in a few seconds, and move straight to uploading your music. And that simple shift makes it much easier to stay consistent, which is what we'll talk about next. The real goal isn't making the most impressive visual. The goal is removing friction from your workflow, because friction kills consistency. When uploading is easy, you post more often. When you post more often, you get more data, more impressions, and more growth. Even small reductions in effort can have a huge impact over time. And if you reduce the visual creation process from 4 hours to just a few minutes, suddenly posting every week or even every single day becomes much more realistic. Instead of building visuals from scratch every time, you have a small set of cozy looping environments that match your lo-fi vibe. Now, when you finish a lo-fi track, the visual part takes minutes instead of hours. Here's the mindset that helped me the most. Your music is the product. The visual is the frame around it. Think about it like hanging a painting. The frame matters. It should look nice, fit the mood. But people don't visit the gallery to admire the frame. They come for the art. Once you start thinking this way, visuals become something that supports your music instead of blocking your creativity. And that simple mental shift can free up a lot of creative energy that you can put straight back into producing more tracks. And once you accept that, the pressure just disappears. If visuals have been slowing down your uploads, having a small library of scenes can make a huge difference. They're designed to give producers ready-to-use loop-in scenes that instantly create the right vibe for your lo-fi uploads. So instead of spending hours building visuals, you can simply drop in the scene, add your music, export your video. If that sounds helpful, you can check them out in the description below. But the main takeaway from this episode is simple. Don't let overthinking visuals stop you from sharing and promoting your music. I'm curious to know what part of uploading slows you down the most. Making the music, creating visuals, or is there maybe something else? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing it with fellow music producers who might find it useful. Until next time, keep creating, stay inspired, and remember, it's all about the vibe. Take care and see you in the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the LoFi Music Academy podcast. If you're ready to start making lo-fi music and want to go even deeper, grab your free guide. Discover the 6 essential steps to create a release-ready lo-fi track from scratch. Whether you're using budget gear in your bedroom or a small home studio, this guide will help you get that polished, dreamy lo-fi sound you're after. Just go to www.lofimusicacademy.com. Until next time, keep creating those laid-back vibes, and don't forget to subscribe for more lo-fi tips and tricks.